Introducing the Ultimate Boxing Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything boxing. From electrifying fight previews to in-depth interviews with the legends of the ring, we break down the biggest bouts round by round. Get inside the minds of the fighters, hear their stories, and feel the intensity of their training. Whether you're a hardcore fan or just starting out, our podcast has got you covered. Stay updated with the latest news, rivalries, and predictions. Tune in and feel the adrenaline, the passion, the raw power of boxing. Boxing is about perseverance, pushing through every challenge. It's the spirit of hard work and dedication that defines a true champion. So what are you waiting for? Like, follow, and subscribe to the Unprofessional Experts podcast. Stay tuned for more exciting updates. Without boxing, nothing in the world means anything.
Welcome back, fight fans. Per usual, we are the Unprofessional Experts podcast. We're 1 year in this thing. Fake cheers, yells, crowd noise, hell yeah. And to celebrate 1 year's worth of episodes, I'm going to drop some clips after the intro, man. The best clips from the past year. Before we get into that, go ahead, like, follow, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a aunt, tell a chicken, tell a lizard. Because if you do not, we will fight you in real life. Got a dope episode for you. Check out these clips. Let's get it, bro.
Let's get it. Let's do it.
But the reason why this was postponed, it worries me because he was on a plane. He had an ulcer flare up. And he can't work out.
and
because he has an ulcer flare up. So it's like,
why do you think that is? Right? Do you think it has anything to do with him being almost 60 years old or no?
I mean, Mike's old. It's showing. If you can't work out due to your age, then it might be time to rethink this matchup. But
rethink your life. Like it might be time to hang these gloves up because you're almost 60 years old.
His resume, Morales, Barrera, and these is motherfucking assassins. He got wars with what's your man, Juan Manuel Marquez. We got Ricky Hatton, Miguel Cotto. His resume is deep.
We ain't gonna bring up Marquez, are we?
Oh yeah, the Marquez but they fought 4 times, man.
Oh, okay. I mean, Marquez kind of he hurt him, right?
Heard him.
Yeah, he put him to sleep.
Linked him.
Okay. He took him to the hospital. But I mean,
hey man, but you still gotta respect that man. You gotta respect that man. In and out the ring, you gotta respect that man.
What he brings to the table. The Bully's a little better than I thought.
like I really dislike how you said it's disrespectful to boxing that he gets to go right to the top simply because he's a celebrity, essentially.
I agree with that.
So if anybody can end this foolishness, this circus, and that celebrity boxing, it's time for it to go away.
Terrence Crawford, again, speaking on last night, we want to talk about what Terrence Crawford is going to do going forward. And I think the best fight that can be made in the sport of boxing right now, today, to this day, is Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. Now, if that fight were to happen, what do we think is the outcome?
Talk about two legends, right?
I'm hating on Clarissa Shields a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I'm hating on Clarissa Shields, and the reason why is because I really think that Clarissa Shields really thinks that she can beat up Keith Thurman. And I don't understand why. Like, Keith Thurman is a former welterweight, super welterweight world champion. So, and I get it. Clarissa Shields don't take nothing away from her. She's the truth. She's a hell of a fighter. I've seen her live in person doing her thing. Like, she's great. But come on now. Come on now.
Does she have a puncher's chance?
She is a puncher, though. She is a puncher, but
that's a grown man.
Against a grown.
Good shit. Good shit, Mr. Isaiah Deb. You started off. You were taking your time. You were very methodic. I think you knew exactly what you wanted to do. Then boom, Here goes a body shot. How do you feel about tonight's fight?
Honestly, I didn't want the body shot. I mean, I wanted it, but that's not how I wanted it to end. I wanted to work the body and then come up with an uppercut, but it wasn't there. He was kind of slick and kind of tricky. You know, it was kind of, sometimes he come in with his head, but hey, I'll take what I can get. It was a body shot, whatever.
So you didn't come into the fight wanting to work the body?
I mean, that was a part of the plan, but that wasn't the main goal for me.
Because it seemed early from round one that he didn't want that smoke.
Yeah, I know. I seen that too. I know. It's unfortunate because I tapped him the first time.
Right. Yeah, you said you tapped him the first time.
I wasn't even sitting on that when I tapped it.
And he came out aggressive. He came out pretty aggressive, throwing a lot of shots from the southpaw position.
Yeah, he did. Man, I really want the uppercut, bro. Because, I be seeing a Tank Davis hitting with them uppercuts, and I wanted that one so bad. So I wanted the boom. It wasn't there, though. I'll take what I can get, though.
Yeah.
Man, you did great. You look good. You got your second knockout, your second main event. You had a really great 2024. What's next for Isaiah Dan?
Man, I really want to get signed, man. I really want some sponsors. I want to make some money.
So that's a shout out to Matchroom,
yes, sir.
Golden Boy,
yes, sir.
The Money Team,
yes, sir.
Yeah,
all of them.
Yeah, all of them.
We got a knockout artist here.
Yeah.
Man, overall, good stuff, man. Keep doing your thing. Good shit, bro.
Congratulations, man. Real good win, bro.
Appreciate it.
Hey, I taught you well on that left hook to the body, bro.
Hey, no BS. That's what I got it, bro. Exactly what I got it,
Yes, sir. Have a good one, man.
That's how you too.
Enjoy your night, man.
Thank you. Have a good night, too.
Man, can you believe, man? It's already been a year, man. That's crazy, man.
Gang.
Crazy, man. Anyway, let's get into it though. Fury Usyk 2, man. Fury Usyk 2. What we thinking about that fight? How did it go down, man? What's the general feel about what happened?
Shout out to big homie Usyk.
Shout out to Usyk.
Alexander, straight out of Ukraine. Man, I'll be honest, I'm not his biggest fan, but Usyk has completed boxing.
Yeah. Man, shout out to Ukraine, man, because those guys, man, they got some really difficult styles, man. I couldn't help but think about Lomachenko and the way and how the southpaw and how they move and how they're kind of they use their angles well, right? They use the straight left well. They use a lot of things well. So shout out to Ukraine.
Man, the Ukraine got some of the dopest fighters. I mean, skill-wise, shout out, Lomachenko, there's a couple other guys. I don't know their names, but they're champs. Man, good fighting style, light on their feet, light on their toes, got a good bounce, man. They're fundamentally sound. And so, shout out to those Ukraine fighters. Usyk, man, undisputed cruiserweight champ, undisputed heavyweight champ. He absolutely lost to Daniel Dubois. But we'll touch on that.
It's debatable. It's debatable. It's debatable. Whether it was a low blow or not, it's debatable.
Man, it was right on the button. My guy folded up. You know what I mean? Folded up. He got folded up. But man, Ukraine fighters are serious. I don't even know what Usyk does next, man. He's accomplished what you want to accomplish in the sport. Rematch Dubois?
Yeah, definitely need to get a rematch with Daniel Dubois. But there might be one opponent that's even ahead of Dubois.
Who might that be?
The legendary Jake Paul. I mean, let's do it. That's like the only thing left that Usyk hasn't done, right? I mean, he's got to get in there with Jake Paul now.
The problem child, man. No shout outs to the problem child, man. He just got off a dub after fighting a senior citizen, man, an icon in the sport. I don't even want to touch on that, but man, can't lie, I do not want to see Usyk versus Jake Paul. Man.
I'll tell you what, Usyk could get a bag if he did it.
Especially if it's streamed on Netflix, the way that it was buffering. No way I want to see Usyk Jake Paul. That's interesting though. Hey, if Jake Paul even lasted 4 rounds, man, he might even be a legend.
If Jake Paul lasted 2 rounds, I would give him credit. If he lasted 2 rounds with Usyk.
Respect to Jake Paul if he were to even take that. Talking about him fighting a real fighter, that'd be Alexander Usyk. Man, what's next for those guys? Fury. One thing I would like to say about Fury, man, he does fight like he's a 7'2" big guy. And so I think that's part of the problem. It's sloppy.
Yeah, and you could kind of see that when in this second matchup with him and Usyk, that Usyk was just faster, right? His hands are faster, his feet are faster. Everything was just faster and working better than Fury. Now Fury, he landed some good shots. He threw some good combinations, but you could just see that Usyk is just better right now. He's just a better fighter right now.
Overall, and Fury has been that guy for the past couple of years. He slaps with some of those punches. Some of them are backhands. He's a big, awkward dude, really too big to be fighting anybody. And so I think, he's got somebody in front of him. And Usyk, he doesn't care about the size.
No.
And he's there to fight, man. He's there to box no matter the opponent, man. Waiting on Usyk, somebody to bring that dog out of him. Dubois got in the ring afterwards, and hopefully they make that rematch. Dubois is not the most technically sound guy, but he's strong. Literally as strong as it gets.
Man, real strong dude.
And so that would be a great matchup, man. Fury, Usyk, don't need to see that again. But, man, I do want to see Fury continue his career. Maybe he steps in with Anthony Joshua, the winner of that, gets back in the mix. Usyk can just keep being great. Can he retire?
Maybe. He could, like I said, but he's gotta. I would love to see him and Daniel Dubois do it again. Just to clear the air on that. I would love to see Usyk clear the air on the whole Daniel Dubois situation. And I'd be remiss not to mention Jake Paul. All jokes aside, that would be an interesting matchup on Netflix. It would finally be Jake Paul's chance to legitimize himself. Let's be honest.
I couldn't disagree more with the want for that matchup. Comment, hey, man, Usyk versus Jake Paul, the problem child becomes legit. How do you feel about that matchup?
Because if he beats Alexander Usyk, then what do we say?
He's a legend. Instant legend.
Instant.
With one victory. Makes him an instant great. He's one of the best. If not, damn near the best. If he beats Usyk.
Undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Jake Paul.
It's a reach, man. I need comments on that. I need answers, man. What's Jake Paul versus Usyk? Hell of a fight. Or bullshit, man. Let us know. Let us know, man, what you think about that one. Hell yeah.
Man, yeah, that would be a crazy matchup. But I gotta ask you, man. JMC, who we hating on today? What's going on? Who we pouring the haterade on today?
Man, this absolutely needs to be talked about. They dropped a new game, boxing game. First one since Fight Night, 150 years ago. Man, we got Undisputed. So let me tell y'all what happened, man. I was excited as shit. I put the game in. I got Terrence Crawford. I'm like, man, I'm going to pick somebody who I know I can beat up. Man, I'm going to lump him up, right? Man, I picked, my opponent was Ricky Hatton.
Shout out to Ricky Hatton, man. Shout out to Ricky Hatton.
Within 30 seconds, I was down.
Oh, man.
I was knocked down. I was hurt.
Oh, man.
Face on the mat. Hey, man, I'm hating on Undisputed, man.
So wait a minute. Are we hating on the game, or is it just the fact that you're trash at Undisputed? Which one is it? I don't know which one it is.
I'm blaming the game.
Okay.
Let me tell it.
We'll put the blame on the game.
Let me tell it. Hey, Undisputed didn't get it right. For Ricky Hatton to be able to face plant Terrence Crawford, there are some problems. There's some issues with the mechanics.
Don't sleep on a prime Ricky Hatton.
The guy who was check hooked in the corner by Floyd, who was then flatlined by Pacquiao. We could sleep on him.
We can go ahead and sleep on him.
We can sleep on him. No disrespect.
Little disrespect, but okay. All right.
Man, I'm hating on Undisputed. The developers, the guys who decided to make this game, because body shots are crazy. You could be winning a round, get hit with a good body shot, you're done for. Ricky Hatton put the paws on Terrence Crawford in a way that I just couldn't understand. I couldn't fight back. I had nothing for Ricky Hatton. He was essentially in God mode. I don't understand it. I don't agree with it. Undisputed. Let's talk about it. I'm not even going to talk about the bugs, the glitches, the issues, why Jake Paul is now in the game. I'm not even going to talk about any of that. I want to know why Ricky Hatton can put the paws on Bud. Of all people, Terrence, Bud, Crawford. We got to talk about it. I'm hating on Undisputed and everybody that has something to do with it.
Well, it sounds like you kind of need to step your game up a little bit, but at the same time, there has been just a lot of negative feedback regarding Undisputed. So, I mean, we'll see where the developers go from here, but it hasn't been looking good so far. But you definitely need to get your skill set up if you're gonna try to beat Ricky Hatton next time.
I can only imagine if I had Ricky Hatton versus Terrence Crawford, what would have happened to me, right? Man, crazy work.
Man,
I did the storyline. My guy got knocked out in his first fight. Like,
yeah, man, it kind of sounds a little bit like a personal problem. Like maybe you didn't practice like you should have, or what was, I don't know what was going on.
I gotta put my guy in the gym or something. But yeah, man, I'm not feeling Undisputed right now.
Man, Undisputed. I guess it's your fault. Maybe it's his fault. We don't know, but. Shout out to Ricky Hatton. Apparently, he's the truth. All right, y'all. Our next segment, we're going to get into this phone and chair activity, followed by a word from Pastor Gilly.
Amen.
Ooh, Hardy Grill.
Greg Hardy. Ooh. Down goes Hardy. Wow. Legendary Iron Man. Woo! But he is strong.
Is that little pit bull?
Usyk Cruz.
I'm gonna never get hit that hard. Is that Kelly Pavlik?
Kelly Pavlik.
Woo! He hurt him. Perfect shot. Don't run up. Don't run up.
That's not like wow. Maybe take a seat.
I stay prayed up, man. I stay praying that God keep that fucking devil off my shoulder, man. Because we all human. And we can all make mistakes. We can all do some dumb shit at the drop of a dime. So I just pray that God keep me the person that I've grown into and not the person that I used to be.
And to get into our last segment, we want to do our fantasy matchup. Mr. Alexander Usyk got the victory, got the dub over Tyson Fury. So we want to get him in here. Let's talk about him versus a legend, all-time great. Nobody would argue that. Alexander Usyk versus Evander Holyfield. Who's coming out on top in that matchup?
The real deal. Man got his ear bit off. Kept fighting, man. He's a legend in the sport, man. I don't even think it's close or even debatable. Evander smokes him. Usyk is done in like 3. Usyk is that guy, but he's that guy this generation. I don't know that it holds up in generations past. Evander, one of my favorite fighters. I remember watching a clip of Evander, man, back in the day, you know, when we were boxing. I was trying to get inspired. I saw Evander throw a combo, man. It was uppercuts and hooks. That was it. It was uppercut. It was nasty. It was strong. It was on point, man. He was versatile. Man, what big guy can throw a 6-point combination all uppercuts, hooks, and land them, you know? Like he was stacked up, man. No Diddy, but man, one of my favorite guys, one of my favorite fighters of all time. You know, his career is marked by getting bit on the ear. But even outside of that, you know, he was a legend in his own right. Olympian, man, straight out of Atlanta. The real deal, Holyfield, man, Usyk does not stand a chance.
I disagree. I disagree. I think, well, first off, shout out to Evander Holyfield. Complete, true legend. I mean, dude, he had his nickname fitting well, the real deal. Everybody knows. Everybody understands it. Anybody who's a boxing fan, you understand Evander Holyfield was that guy. All credit to Evander Holyfield. But I think that Alexander Usyk has a package that will make it difficult for Evander Holyfield, right? And like I mentioned earlier, the Ukrainian has that kind of like that irky-jerky, inside-out, southpaw, really good foot movement. You don't really know when he's going to punch. type of style to go along with power and to go along with the grit. Alexander Usyk is not a punk. Like, he's not going to back down from Evander Holyfield, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, or whoever it may be, right? I think Alexander Usyk stands a chance to outpoint somebody. I don't see him knocking him out. I don't see him just dominating Evander Holyfield, but he could win by decision based off points. I could see that from Alexander Usyk. I think you're not giving the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world enough credit right now.
Man, I need all of Atlanta to stand up right now. H-Town, stand up, man. Come together. Man, we talking about the real deal.
I know, we talking about the real deal. But why would Alexander Usyk go into this matchup trying to out-punch or out-power or out-warrior Evander Holyfield?
He can't out anything.
He can't. He could outbox him.
No.
I believe he could potentially outbox him. In that southpaw, weird, kind of in and out, using angles, he could outbox Evander Holyfield potentially.
Usyk is nice, don't get me wrong, but Evander is better. And so, with that being said, a body shot combo, Usyk gets hurt to the body, he follows it up to the head. Evander had all the combos, all the elusiveness. He was just as light on his feet as Usyk is, which is something that Usyk is not familiar with. He's in there with guys twice his size that can barely move. So it's a whole different story in there with Evander. Man, I'm talking about Evander does his thing. I mean, he's in the ring. He's hitting dances afterwards, man. He's knocking them clean out. It's light work.
I don't. Well, wait a minute, because you're forgetting about the fact that they both came up from cruiserweight. All right, so it's not like Usyk has just been in there with these huge guys like Fury the entire time. He came up from cruiserweight as well and was a cruiserweight champion as well.
Man, Ukrainians can't hang with the ATLians. Man, they just they're not ready, man. I got all the faith in Evander. If he were to get hurt, stopped, or knocked out, I would probably cry about it. Evander is one of my guys. That's my dog. I got Evander over almost everybody.
For the record, I think Evander Holyfield would win this matchup potentially, but I don't want to sleep on Alexander Usyk. Usyk is creating the type of aura that, winning the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. There's only so many men in history who have done that, right? So let's give credit where credit is due. Shout out to Alexander Usyk, man. I don't think he will be a difficult out for anybody.
Except Evander, that's my dog. We can agree to disagree on that one. Once again, comment. Let us know, man. We're talking about the greatest Ukrainian ever versus the real deal, Holyfield, man. Amazing matchup. Both of those guys will do their thing. We're 1 year in the game. Unprofessional Experts Podcast. JMC and Davo, man. Y'all gotta like. Y'all gotta follow. Y'all gotta subscribe, man. We doing live shows, man. We're doing the podcast. We're talking about boxing. We're gonna keep this thing going. We got some big fights coming up in 2025. Gervonta Davis versus that guy who he chose to fight. No disrespect to him. I just wish.
Hold on. Don't disrespect Lamar Roach, man. Shout out to Lamar Roach.
Shout out to Lamar Roach. I just wish he would have picked somebody else. But shout out to Lamar Roach, man. Big Turk, man. The original hot boy out of Saudi. He's putting on a big card again February 22nd. Bivol Better BF2. Shakur Stevenson's on the undercard. It's a really good card. We'll make sure to give y'all all the scoop on that. Once again, like, follow, subscribe, tell a friend, tell an aunt, tell a grandparent, tell a chicken, tell a lizard. Sit down, watch, stream this episode. We are the Unprofessional Experts Podcast. Until next time.
We are firemen. The heat doesn't bother us. We live in the heat. We train in the heat. Yeah, let's go. It tells us that we're ready. We're at home. We're where we're supposed to be. Flames don't intimidate us. What do? We control the flame.